Podcast. Presented by XFL2K.com. With your host, Tron Hawkins.
Welcome to This is the XFL Show. I am your host, Tron Hawkins. The 52-man rosters are out, and now it's time. I'm not necessarily going to go over them. I'm going to hit some high points, but it is now time for the Week 1 Power Rankings. It is now time to finally rank these teams based on their positions, their coaches, all that stuff. Break them down a little bit. I'm not going to go, too much into detail. I'm kind of go, team to team and kind of say, hey, this is why they're at this spot. Now, when the season gets here, it's going to be a little bit easier. Now, Power Rankings not necessarily rankings. If I see the Guardians go out and barely lose to Tampa, I mean, Tampa's going to be ahead of them. But if, Houston comes out and gets a controversial win against, say, L.A., I might put the Guardians above Houston, even because they might have looked better, even though they're both 1-0. One's 1-0 and one's 0-1. Now, later on in the season, though, when, a team's 3-8, they're going to be, dead last. But for now, it's kind of going by what I think of their rosters and the stuff they've been doing in training camp and the stuff they did in their preseason scrimmage, stuff like that. So that's how I'm kind of breaking it down for this one. But once the season starts, it's going to be a little bit easier to do these Power Rankings. Power Rankings is going to be its own episode this time. Next time, it will be a part of the Week 1 review show. And then next Monday night, I am recording for hopefully Tuesday morning, the Week 1 preview show. It's here. I mean, I can't believe it's here. This is real content now. This ain't speculation, stuff like that. Not that all my episodes haven't been good, but it is now time to actually talk about the game itself. So it's going to be a fun ride. Right this, it is going to be time to break down these Power Rankings. Coming in at number 8 is the Tampa Bay Vipers. Now, I know I seem like I'm hard on the Vipers, and it's nothing against them. I mean, I've had people inbox going, I think you're sleeping on the Vipers too much. But here's the thing. In Vegas, they are the over-under is 7.5 wins. So they got them going 7-3, 8-2. You can't get a half a win. I don't see it. I look at their roster, and I don't see it. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Mark Trestman is the coach and general manager, and I get it. But I'm a Georgia fan. I've seen Aaron Murray play. He was great at Georgia, but that's been a long time ago. They got him. They got Taylor Cornelius, Quentin Flowers, who could be a stud, Chase Litton. Now, Antonio Callaway kind of puts him over the top. They finally got a weapon that I know. He kind of was unorthodox when putting this team together, where we're like, who is these guys? But, they do have Reese Horn. They have Stacey Coley from Miami. Dante Dye, who looked pretty good in the scrimmage. Aaron Murray. But the thing is, in the preseason game, the Guardians shut them down and beat them to death, pretty much. And I know, it's just preseason. You can't take too much from it. But you got to look at it like this, too. Guardians were trying to handle business like it was Week 1. And that's who they play Week 1. So from that perspective, it makes you wonder, where are they getting this 7.5 from Tampa? I just don't see it. I don't see Tampa being a 7.5 win team. I don't even see them being the best, anywhere close to being the best team in the league based on their roster. I look at their roster, and, they took a tight end first. Aaron Murray was their signed quarterback, which Nick Trudell could be awesome, and Aaron Murray could be awesome. But I don't know if there's enough pieces for them to be called the best team in the league. I got them dead last right now. But they could go out there, go at the MetLife and prove them wrong. But you got to look at not only that, Tampa I don't know how much home field advantage they're going to have during the season either. New York might not have any either. LA might not. But Tampa, I just don't see anybody on that team that goes, okay, they scare me, and that's why they're number 8 on my list right now. But come Week 1, they could be number 1 if they come out and just curb stomp the Guardians. But right now, number 8, Tampa Bay Vipers. This is going to hurt some people's feelings, but number 7 is the St. Louis Battlehawks. I love their running backs. I do. I love their running backs a lot. I love Matt Jones. I love Christine Michael. They're going to be wonderful running backs. I love some of their wide receivers. I love Pearson L. from Nebraska, Keith Mumphrey. I love Kenny Robinson. That defense looks like it's going to be outstanding. They had a couple pick sixes against Dallas in the scrimmage, but their quarterback keeps me from going. Nick Fitzgerald just got signed there. I mean, he's going to be probably a non-factor to begin with. Taylor Heineke, he was hurt all the time for Carolina. So, I mean, you got to take that into account. Then you got Jordan Ta'amu, who's pretty much a rookie. You know, he just came out of college. He's the youngest. He was the youngest assigned quarterback to the original quarterbacks. Great defense, wonderful defense. If in my fantasy league, St. Louis' defense will probably be my defense. I'm going to try to pick them first. I hope nobody that's in my league, even though I know one person will listen to this because he edits it. But I hope nobody. I think they're going to have the best defense in the league, hands down. St. Louis will, especially playing in the dome. Going to be loud. Defense will be rocking. But their quarterbacks leave something to be desired. And I even said that in their team preview. If they can get the hit on the quarterback, if they can hit on the right starting quarterback, they could win the East. And I do have them win the Eastern Championship game. I know it sounds weird because I got them at number 7. But watching some preseason, watching training camp, some of my stuff has changed. And I'll get to that in my week 1 preview, and I'm going to preview the season as well. Originally, I had them going to the Eastern Championship game. Now I don't know. If they can get the quarterback right, they're going to be really good. But I just don't see it right now. They're a quarterback away from being legit. Maybe Jordan Ta'amu, if he can be named the starter, not Heineke. Heineke's the starter, I'm worried about him. But if Jordan Ta'amu can be the starter and use his legs and stuff, he's going to be very dangerous. And he might can make it work. He's kind of unknown. And all the other quarterbacks I think ahead of him is more known products. But I do think he's better than Aaron Murray. But right now, St. Louis is quarterback away from being a legit contender, I think, right now. But they could go out and beat Dallas without Landry Jones. That's a good first step. But then you got to go to Houston. Tough schedule to begin with. Watch out for St. Louis, though. But I think I'm right about the quarterback situation. Number 6 in the week 1 power rankings is the Seattle Dragons. Now, in the preseason game, they kept up with DC, and I was impressed. I was really impressed. I think they found something special with the B.J. Daniels, Brandon Silvers combination. With B.J. Daniels and them, they could switch in and out, especially on like I talked about before in the previews, in the team previews. On those 2-point, on the 1-point conversions, put B.J. Daniels in there and let him run over people. Switch up your offense. With the double forward pass, you can do the same thing. Let Brandon Silvers throw it to him, let him run, let him throw. It's unlimited potential in this offense. They got 2 really good AAF running backs in Kenneth Farrow and Trey Williams. Both of them wonderful. They both played together in the AAF. They're going to be really good. Kenan Reynolds is a wide receiver. Great story there. Garrett Hartley, the kicker. Great pickup as a kicker. Out of nowhere. Great kicker from the Saints. And then you got Casey Williams, a wide receiver, a hometown kid. I just worry if their offense is going to keep up with and they got Jaquan Gardner too at running back. Their running back, I'm just worried again about the quarterbacks. Brandon Silver could never really get the starting job really at Memphis. They keep trying to bring somebody in at the AAF. BJ Daniels kind of been hit and miss in the NFL. Obviously, he never really got a shot at all. And then Coach Zorn, his last head coaching experience wasn't that great. We did have, there is potential here. If their defense can step up and if their offense can do what it needs to do, they could be legit out there in the West. I just worry that LA, Dallas, and Houston's all better. That's the thing. Not that Seattle ain't good. There's 4 big teams. A lot of people think there's 4 big teams all in the West. They're all Dallas. It's LA. It's Houston. It's Seattle's 4 best teams. I don't see it like that. I think the East is pretty good myself. I'm getting better, obviously, with some of these trades. It's not that Seattle's not good. They're good, and I think the other 3 in the West are pretty damn great right now. That could change. Landry Jones missed a couple weeks, or if he gets hurt again, Dallas might be screwed. And here's a hint. Dallas is not my number 1 team this week on my power rankings, but Seattle is number 6. I think they're good, but they're not where they're just in a hard division. Here's what it is. Seattle's really good. If they was in the East, I'd probably get them finish second behind, maybe DC, New York, one of those 2. But being in that West, man, it's tough. Coach Zorn is not even the best coach in the West, I don't think. So right now, I hate to put them there, and I cannot wait to see them play Houston week 5 when I go out to Houston live. Cannot wait to go out there. I'm going to do a live podcast out there for that game. Can't wait to see them play live, and they could prove me wrong live. They could go out there and curb stomp Houston week 5. Sorry, ref, but it's possible. But right now, looking at the team, I just don't see them stacking up against the West. They could definitely go cross conference or cross division and sweep the East. but the West is tough. I mean, they could split it. They could split games with the Western teams. I mean, they could easily go 6-4, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to make the playoffs. It could be. They're a sneaky team. They're a sneaky wild card and second seed in the West kind of team. But it's going to be tough to overcome the other monsters in the West. Number 5 on the Week 1 power rankings is the Houston Roughnecks. I like this team. I like Khalil Lewis, a wide receiver. Sam Mobley, he's a good wide receiver. Sergio Castillo is nailing field goals in the preseason game. Sammy Coates, great wide receiver. But like most teams, kind of worried about their running backs. The quarterbacks. And it's not so much I'm worried about them. It's just I think they're going to do the 2 quarterback system with Phillip Walker or PJ Walker, whatever it wants to be called, and Connor Cook. The problem with that is, are they going to allow these guys to get into a rhythm? Are they going to be in sync enough? Are they going to be on the field enough to kind of get in a rhythm to make a difference? I mean, are they going to play the hot hand? Is my thing. They're going to go, no matter what, we're going to split it 50-50. I don't care if Connor Cook throws for 4 touchdowns. Phillip Walker's going to get some playing time. That's the thing that I'm kind of wondering about. But this team looks like it's built, with this awesome offense. It's going to be an awesome, awesome offense. They're going to score points and keep up with anybody they want to. They got decent running backs like Andre Williams. He's going to be a stud. He was a stud at Boston College and for the Giants for a couple of years. They got a pretty good defense. But the question is, can their defense be a bend, not break? June Jones not known for his defense. He's known for his offense. So it kind of makes you wonder what kind of defense they're going to put on the field come week 1, because in their preseason game, they was beating LA, and LA come back with like 24 unanswered points in the second half. Granted, with some backups on the field for Houston. But that's not a good thing to show in the preseason that your backup defense, if you need the backup, somebody gets hurt, they're not going to be able to stop a cold. June Jones not known for defense, so like I said. Let's see if this is going to be the kind of team where they're going to have to score 40 points to win. If they score just 28, they might not win one. So it kind of makes you wonder, is too much going to be on the offense? Too much pressure going to be on Phillip Walker? Too much pressure going to be on Connor Cook to go out there and keep up because their defense is not very good? They could prove me wrong. But right now, I have 4 teams ahead of Houston. They're in the middle of the pack for me. Again, can't wait to see them play Seattle. I think it's going to be a wonderful game. Love the stadium out there. Just looking at the team, though, I wonder about the quarterback situation. Great weapons. But you got to let these quarterbacks get into a rhythm. But the double forward pass could be a thing with them two. Or Connor could just pass it to Walker and let Walker run. It's going to what kind of offense he wants to run. Does he want to run just a pocket passer? Which, he chose Connor Cook second overall for a reason. Or does he want a scrambler like Phillip Walker? If it was me, I think Phillip Walker might have won the job. But Connor Cook is not going to be no slouch either. They're going to split it and ride the hot hand for sure, I think, in Houston. Next to the team I think most people thought would be number 1 when the first Week 1 power rankings came out. But for me, the number 4, just because of an injury to Landry Jones, it's the Dallas Renegades. Or as I call them, the Oklahoma Renegades. Because, Bob Stoops went out there and just drafted guys he knew, which is smart. I would have too. But they've had some guys come on in training camp. Jazz Ferguson looks fantastic at 6'5", 228 pounds out of Northwestern State. They're running backs with Lance Dunbar catching the ball in the backfield. Cameron Payne from Auburn and from Carolina running it. You got a Thunder and Lightning with them too. The only bad thing about that is when Lance Dunbar comes in, they're going to throw it. Which they're going to throw it anyway. So it makes you wonder if Lance Dunbar might be the best choice in that backfield, catching the ball in the backfield. Landry Jones got hurt, though. That is the problem. He got hurt. And he might not be ready for week 1. If he's not ready for week 1, I might have to pick St. Louis to win, even though I'm kind of unsure about the quarterback situation. But Philip Nelson came through and threw 3 touchdowns as they beat St. Louis in their preseason game. So Philip Nelson's no slouch either. And there's a reason why they got him. They got him to back up Landry Jones just in case this happened. So the good thing about this is he didn't get hurt this week. He got hurt 3 weeks ago. So Philip Nelson will be ready for week 1 if he has to. So don't count out Dallas just because they ain't got Landry Jones. It's still an uphill battle a little bit because St. Louis got good defense. But Philip Nelson's seen them in the preseason. They didn't show all their hand. They didn't show all their hand to him. But Philip Nelson, if he can go out there and throw like he did in the preseason, he will be a hot commodity maybe in the trade market if another quarterback goes down. Because as long as they got Landry Jones, they're going to be good to go. Love this team, though. Love the running backs. Love the wide receivers. Jeff Burdett, the master of the visor, looking good on the field. But Dallas right now is number 4 to me. They would have been number 1, maybe even number 2, with Landry Jones there, the biggest acquisition in the XFL so far. But right now, number 4. This could be a team, though, that could be number 1 the rest of the season if they show out come next weekend. But right now, number 4. The number 3 team was a team that I've loved all season. I've loved ever since the draft. If you listen to This Is the Year in the XFL show on XFL Newsroom YouTube page, it's a team that I picked to win the XFL championship. But I got to looking at the preseason and the training camp stuff, moves that were made, and I kind of realized I like 2 other teams ahead of this team right now, and that's the DC Defenders. They're not a bad team. They're a wonderful team. I think Cardell Jones is legit. Tyree Jackson, if he goes down, awesome. Eli Rogers out of Louisville. You got Jalen Rowell now from Air Force, just signed. Simi Cobbs, Rashad Ross, who they got in a trade. They're legit everywhere. They're running backs. Donnell Pumphrey, Jarrell Presley. Donnell Pumphrey led the NCAA in rushing at one point. And then Jarrell Presley was awesome in the AAF and for New Mexico. Just looking at the other teams, though, I just like them a little bit more. And I do worry that the fact that their prize pick, their assigned quarterback, Cardell Jones, was kind of a one-year wonder at Ohio State. That's what kind of worries me. He's been practice squad fodder, back up and stuff like that. And here he is now getting a shot to lead a team again. But he really was only good, if you look at his stats, I don't mean there's nothing negative, those playoff games and championship. And then when the next season starts, he lost his job. It worries me a little bit that maybe he's not had enough of experience, with 2 teams ahead of him have quarterback with experience on this big stage. I mean, it's possible that he could come out and throw 2 or 3 interceptions against Seattle and put them in a hole early come February 8th in the opening game. So right now I got them at number 3 just because it's not that they don't have weapons. I love their weapons. They might want to run the ball to get the pressure off Cardell. I worry that if the pressure gets to him, and I know he's been on big stages before, like college football playoff championship game, but he kind of got thrust into that, and he just kind of had to roll with it. He was a short period wonder in college and never really did anything in the NFL. I want him to show me that he is the man, and he could be MVP. He could be league MVP if he shows out, but I want to see it first. When I sat down and made this list and got to thinking about it, I thought about it all day. I was at work thinking about my power rankings. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, holy crap, they're number 2 on my list. The New York Guardians. They're a team that I'm just now warming up on, and I think a lot of it had to do with the preseason game. I might be putting too much in the preseason, but they made some great moves, including getting Luis Perez for a backup to Marquise Williams and Matt McGloin. Matt McGloin comes out, throws 3 touchdowns in the first half against Tampa in the preseason game, and 2 picks. You got to take the good with the bad. But, I mean, I was blown away. He had the most touchdowns out of the 4 games. Out of all 4 games, he had the most touchdowns. Matt McGloin. But they do have Mikael McKay. Mikael McKay looks like he's going to be legit. Theo Redding looks like he's come on really strong. If you watched any of the XFL videos on Twitter and Facebook, he looks like he's going to be a legit number 2 guy. And then Tim Cook and their running backs just running over people. Justin Stockton, Darius Victor, I think, is the one in that video where he just clocks a Tampa Bay player. Watch out for them. Watch out for this team. And their defense destroyed Tampa. I said St. Louis might have the best defense. It's either them or the Guardians. The Guardians' defense is going to be legit. Gilbride knows how to win football games like he did with the Giants. You run the ball, you play good defense. And I think they got the perfect storm there. Have a game manager kind of like Eli was. Have good wide receivers. Have a great running game and a great defense. This team, right now, to me, might be the team to beat in the East. They're not the team, but they might be the team to beat in the East right now based on what I've seen in training camp in the preseason. Guardians sneaking up on people. I don't think enough people's talking about the Guardians, but I'm going to talk about them. They're my number 2 team. And now, my number 1 team for Week 1 power rankings, and this shocked me even when I thought about it, is the LA Wildcats. And there's a reason why. I know you're thinking like, wow, the LA Wildcats, really? The team that's not going to probably have any fans in the stands. One, They got Josh Johnson. I think Josh Johnson, other than Landry Jones, could be the MVP. And with Landry Jones possibly being hurt for not a while, but he could get hurt again, Josh Johnson is the most experienced quarterback in this league by far. So that's a point for them right there. They traded Luis Perez for Chad Kanoff, and Kanoff throws for 3 touchdowns in their scrimmage game. A newly signed dude that's been there for 2 days throws for 3 touchdowns. Maybe they knew something. I mean, I thought Luis Perez wasn't going to start, but I didn't think they was going to trade him. And Coach Moss got on there and said, got on the video and said, or even on XFL.com, he said, everybody online is talking about how I was stupid for making that trade. Now who's stupid? Now who's stupid? It's not me. And that's why they're my number one team. Is Winston Moss seems like he's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. It looks like he knows what's going on. He traded for Trey McBride. Trey McBride looks awesome too. He traded Rashard Ross for him, and Trey McBride might be a better wide receiver by the end of it. I mean, he's got him, Nelson Spruce, Adonis Jennings. He's got Elijah Hood at running back, Larry Rose. It seems like he knows something that we don't. DeJuan Harris at running back. It's like he's making all these moves to critique his team. He's like, it's not right yet. And then he sneaks. He sneaks and cuts. So they also have Will Smith on there, linebacker out of Texas Tech. Oh, Anthony Johnson out of LSU at linebacker. And he's a good defensive coach, too. But he sneaks and cuts Sean Oakman. He sneaks and cuts him in minicamp. He cuts him in minicamp. And everybody's like, wow, they cut Sean Oakman. They're like, oh, it's causing bad character issues. Nobody re-signs him. So what does he do? He picks him right back up. He sneaks him back on the team. It's like he's playing mind games with all the other coaches. He is playing chess, and all these other coaches are playing checkers. That defense is legit. Josh Johnson's legit. These moves he's making is for a reason. He's trying to build the chemistry in LA the Wildcat way. And for that reason, they are my number one team. I think Winston Moss, even though he ain't a lot of experience, he might be the most fun coach, and he might be the best coach, believe it or not, in this league. Wildcats, number one. Now, usually this is the time where I talk about follow me on my podcast, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and follow, XFL Newsroom stuff. But speaking of Los Angeles, yesterday we lost Kobe Bryant. And I know it's not an XFL thing, it's not a football thing, but that man meant more to sports than just basketball. He died. His daughter tragically died, and 7 other people died, including a couple of teenage girls that don't get to live their life. And I seen a thing on Facebook talking about, as a parent, and I have a 3-year-old son, my stepson. As a parent, your worst nightmare is losing your child. But imagine losing your child as you're also dying and not being able to do anything but comfort them. And that hit home to me. Hug your family. If you got anybody out there you're feuding with, if you're being stubborn, apologize if it's your fault. Or just talk to them, even if they don't apologize to you. It's life's too short to be mad at people. Think about that next time you tell somebody something that you shouldn't. If you're being mean to somebody, bullying somebody, life's too short. You never know when you wake up the next morning something like this happens. So with that, I am done for this week. Love everybody, and cherish every moment with everybody. Mamba out.